Okay, continue where we left off. Well, I had to go back to this part, so because there's so many things to talk about since I talked too much about the story of Joseph and ended up stopping at the video with Jafar as a ghost. So I just want to go back to this one because there's more to ramble about. Look, I'll admit the rivalry between Frollo and Enrico Maxwell is an interesting one. And okay, that is like the weirdest face. That should be meme worthy. I'm just saying. Look at that. It looks like it's a meme worthy face. So, you guys know I do hate Enrico Maxwell. Even Savio Gamba hates him. Even Fattest Caddis hates him. Just everyone hates him. Like, okay. I get the whole similarity because they're, religious villains, Frollo and Maxwell. I mean, if Maxwell was a politician like Frollo is, he'd be a major epic villain. But my issue with him is that he's a priest. A certain priest. Instead of just preaching the word of God, about love and acceptance, it would make you into, preaching of the hatred, like xenophobicism, racism, homophobicism, just any certain prejudice that's not all about loving thy neighbor, but more about hating your neighbor instead. I mean, I just really hate people that are like Enrico Maxwell. And if you guys are going to be pointing out about Frollo, Frollo is not a priest. He is a judge. And that's more of an exception. Maxwell, yeah, he's the head of the Iscariot, which is like the military Catholics. But he's also a priest. I know Frollo is a priest in the novel, but personally, I prefer the judge Frollo rather than the priest Frollo. Or archdeacon, whatever you call him. So, Alexander Anderson, ever since watching Hellsing Ultimate, he does have a redeemable moment. Ever since Paris was going on fire, they're having innocent people killed, he looks in shock and terror like, my God, Maxwell, you have fallen from grace. Like, what are you thinking? Like, all that stuff. And he has to end up killing Maxwell just to save people. It just kind of seemed like what he was doing. So he basically is an anti-hero kind of thing. So he does have a redeemable qualities. So, even though I do hate Maxwell, but I'm just not sure if there were other villains he might, recruit or ends up joining just to get revenge on Frollo. Which I'll admit, wouldn't it be interesting if he did, decide to join Oliver Cromwell and he'd be the leader? I know it's supposed to be Frollo versus Maxwell, but I'm just saying, since the Iscariot is his forces, I would imagine if Oliver Cromwell becoming the leader and Maxwell gathering his Iscariot to join Oliver Cromwell into this. I'm just saying, I mean, to me, he's more of the non-Disney Frollo than I would ever consider Maxwell to be one. Even Fattest Caddis would agree, this guy is the perfect non-Disney Frollo. I mean, just like how I said about Frollo not being a priest, he's a judge. Oliver Cromwell, well, he is a real historical figure, he's not a priest. He's an English general. And that's also more of an exception. He's not a priest. He is an English general. I'm just saying, it would have been cool if Oliver Cromwell would have been in Disney versus non-Disney Villains 3. I'm just saying, if he would have, be, the one who would help Maxwell get revenge on Frollo, because basically he is anti-Catholic. Unless he'd be planning to get rid of Maxwell also. I'm just saying.
Next time, I swear, I will rip him to 50 pieces.
Yeesh. So if Oliver Cromwell would have had, an alliance in this part, if he would have, appeared, Can anyone list some names of any alliance would join Oliver Cromwell? I'm just saying, it'd still be really cool if that happened. Then we see... Yeah, we got to this part again, of course, so... Yeah, Jafar is a ghost, and the last time we saw him, he was dragged into the river Styx. Somehow got out, and this mysterious figure he's with. Hold on.
I am Jafar, the scourge of Agrabah, once the most powerful sorcerer in the world. What do you want? Revenge. Then you will need many things. Allies, soldiers, weapons, and a base of operation.
He sounds like the Archmage, which, spoilers alert, that is the Archmage. Yeah, the one that, who is known as Disdain in this series, the one that Mosereth killed. He's a ghost. Well, since they're in the underworld, everyone is a ghost. You know, if a person dies. Interesting, he's got a robe, so I'm not sure what footage of this ghostly figure. I tried so hard to look for it. And if I did look it up, I think he's from the 2003 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Is that it? Just to use to represent the ghost of Archmage? I'm just asking. But it is good to see him, you know, coming back into part 3. So, guess Jafar is teaming up with Disdain the Archmage, as we all would call him. And then we get this bit with the Major. Haha! The Major, just like with Alexander Anderson, he's a villain I like way more than Enrico Maxwell. I'm just saying.
Enjoying is hardly the word for this evening. I'm ecstatic, positively giddy with an...
Yeah, of course. Enrico Maxwell has entered Disney versus non-Disney villains on the part 3. And we all know how he loves war. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. This should be interesting. So, that was Disney versus non-Disney villains part 3, round 1C. The final part of the alphabetical order of round 1. So now we'll be heading to part 2. So, that was pretty good. So, see you guys in the next video.